goal, number 1, Evan Newton. Number 2, Lucas Farias. Number 4, Tyler Gibson. Number 6, Drew Connor. Number 7, Ayose. Number 14, Indy. Number 15, Nebiel Akshaw. Number 17, Dane Kelly. Number 20, Carl Ouimet. Number 23, Tyler Asher. And the captain, 29, Patty Barrett. The head coach of your Indy 11 is Martin Rennie. The Indy 11 assistant coaches are Juan Guerra, Phil Presser, and Andy Smith. The head athletic trainer for Indy 11 is Mija Kinsey. The team doctor, Dr. Mosey Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to midfield and welcome tonight's game honorees. Keaton Elliott was born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome, a congenital heart defect in which the left side of his heart was severely underdeveloped and non-functioning. Keaton has undergone 3 open heart surgeries. Following his first surgery, Keaton suffered 2 strokes. Keaton is now 7 years old and thriving, thanks to the wonderful doctors and nurses that cared for him, as well as the advances in medical treatments. Keaton loves to sing, dance, and play with his younger brother. He also insists that everyone knows of his love for hot sauce. We walk for Keaton to raise awareness of CHDs and the research necessary to help all of these kids overcome their obstacles. We walk for our superhero. On the field now representing tonight's sponsor, the Red Line from Indigo, is Community Engagement Manager Brandon Evans. He would like to remind you during the entire month of September, the Red Line is free to all riders. The Red Line connects several neighborhoods to the state's largest concentration of jobs in downtown Indianapolis, including the state's largest hospitals, educational institutions, and most importantly, Indy 11 home games. Learn more by logging on indigo.net/red-line. Please give a warm round of applause for our game honorees.
We have come from all over the world.
Senegal, Spain, England,
and chose to play here.
in Indiana.
Back home again in Indiana.
In front of the most
Passionate, loyal,
loudest supporters in the USL.
We came here to win.
to play, to win.
On an absolutely gorgeous night in central Indiana, we welcome you inside Lucas Oil Stadium for Indy 11 soccer. Indy looking for a 20th consecutive home match without a loss, a streak that started a year ago against these Charlotte Independents, a team that Indy beat 3-2 back on March 15th. Tonight our focus is on the two leading goal scorers in the history of the USL Championship. Dane Kelly did not have a goal from April 28th until last Sunday night. It turned out to be the game winner in a 2-1 victory against St. Louis FC. On the opposing side, the ageless wonder. Jorge Herrera turns 39 in September, yet he's had 6 goals this season. We will likely see him as a sub for the Independents this evening. Indy looking for the season sweep against Charlotte. Opening kickoff, starting lineups come your way next as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer on My Indy TV. Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by Community Health. Dream big, work hard, finish strong. Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. And by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, proud to be the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Quick look at the table in the Eastern Conference. The Indy 11 currently in 6th, but that is misleading. They have 5 matches in hand on 3 of the 5 teams in front of them. New York Red Bulls 2, a 5-1 winner over Swope Park Rangers a night ago. A 10-point lead over Indy, but again, Indy will host Red Bulls 2 here on September the 4th, and 5 matches in hand. They're going to see the Charlotte Independents at 25 points, just 2 points out of their last 15, and again, they are currently outside of the playoff picture with just 8 matches left to go after tonight's contest. Alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you. Thank you for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer here on My Indy TV and ESPN+. A week ago, the Indy 11 2-1 winners over St. Louis. It was as pretty of soccer, Brad, as we have seen all season, and a big part of the creative force behind that, Brazilian midfielder Lucas Farias.
Yeah, he was fantastic. He was great attacking the post. Had some nice early serves. He whipped in behind the back line. You know, here's one. There's just nobody that was back post on this one, but a really, really dangerous ball. And then he did a really nice job of punching the ball into seams, both for Matt Watson and then later in the match for Tyler Pasher for that opening goal. And I tell you what it brings, his creativity and being dynamic. brings so much balance to the team because you can't key just on Iose and the dangerous elements that he can carry.
And you touch on the balance as you see Pasher score left foot, but from the right side. This has been a very left side dominant team all season long.
It has been. I think the emergence of Farias, gives some freedom for both Pasher and Kelly to not just check to one side to look for creative options. You now have it on both sides, and what that's going to do is stretch any back line that the 11 plays.
Quick check of our starting lineups for tonight's match, presented by Honda Manufacturing of Indiana, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Both Pasher and Kelly came in off the bench last Sunday. They're in the starting lineup. Matt Watson, Kenny Walker exit, as do Eugene Starikoff. And again, Drew Connor gets his first Indy 11 start tonight. And Dominic Oduro, leading goal scorer for Charlotte. He, of playing for 8 different Major League Soccer clubs over the years, plays on that right front of a 4-3-3.
It's incredible. What a career.
Injury report presented by Community Health Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. I love that graphic.
Yes.
No injuries for the Indy 11 currently.
2 weeks in a row. It's you almost think it's a mistake from graphics because we're so used to seeing that thing packed.
Of course, Ilya Illich, Eugene Starikoff both missed some extended time opportunity here, and Kelly blasted after a takeaway and immediately kind of looks at Tyler Pasher and says, hey, probably should have played that your direction. Yeah. My apologies. But when you're hot, you feel like you're open anytime you're in the building.
You really do. However, that's in the opening minute of the game, that's a 2v2 with 2 of the hottest players, 2 of the paciest players in the league.
Brandon Miller in goal tonight for Charlotte. His 17th appearance of the season. He and Curtis Anderson have handled all the duties this year for Charlotte. And this is the first time in over 5 months that these two teams have faced off against one another. Indy got out to a 3-goal advantage when they played back in mid-March, then hung on to win 3-2. Indy beat the Independents here 2-1 a season ago. And in their first ever meeting last April, they played to a 0-0 draw.
And I'll tell you, it's hard to look at a goalkeeper that gives up 3 goals and say he was fantastic. But the last time these two teams played, Miller was fantastic. I mean, Tyler Gibson's goal, I don't know how he made that initial save, but it was just a thing of brilliance.
Take a quick look now at our keys to this match, presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealer, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Change the point of attack, Mr. Hodder, for Indy.
Absolutely, yeah. I think when you take a look at the last 3 goals that they scored against Charlotte, all 3 of them came from an electric change in the attacking third. And you got to find Kelly. He's a goal scorer. He just got the game winner. Goal scorers score in bunches. Expect him to be on, and if he can get some touches, he'll be dangerous. For Charlotte, win the transition game. You've got dynamic players up front with Oduro and Martinez. You got to get them the ball. Speaking of Martinez, everything comes through him. The most shots, the most chances created, the most assists. The more touches he gets, the better Charlotte's going to do.
You talking about Enzo or Alex, because they're brothers and they're both in the starting 11 tonight.
Enzo. Hey, they're both good. I mean, Alex has got a handful of assists as well.
Enzo Martinez, 3 goals and 6 assists. He is a Charlotte area native, grew up across the state line in Rock Hill. Played for the Colorado Rapids, did Enzo last year. And a foul behind the play. Advantage was being played. Indy had possession, but this will go back to midfield. Now you see Enzo. By the way, our match referee this evening is Matthew Thompson. Martinez has been one of the best players in the league during his time with Charlotte. There are some very talented players on this Charlotte roster. For whatever reason, it hasn't clicked as a group this year.
It's a crazy game. I mean, there's so many things that go into it. You look at the roster, talented roster. I mean, you got the 2nd leading goal scorer in the history of the league coming off the bench today.
Herrera, as we said, 38 years old. He has played in Charlotte with either the Eagles or the Independents since 2007. Native of Columbia. And scored here against Indy last year. Now Pasher and Iose.
Oh,
This
what
is
a
when
ball.
the engine gets revved up for Indy.
Oh, my goodness.
Iose couldn't get it through. Hugh Roberts got in the way. Pasher, as soon as he touches it, he was in an offside position.
What
and
a
the flag goes up.
What a great find. And you look at Pasher, everything is working for him right now. I mean, how many times have we seen him attack that front post, slot a ball across? You got Jahate's goal. You had, who was one last week or 2 weeks ago?
All of them.
All of them. And then you look at this, and he finds Iose cutting on the backside of the box for another great opportunity.
Look at Brandon Miller, 3 clean sheets on the season. Tyler Pasher trying to prevent that. 9 goals for Pasher. We saw his pace on display in the limited number of matches that he played in a season ago. But Pasher with 9 goals this year as Kelly gives the foul. He has topped the number of USL goals he had scored in the previous 4 seasons combined, where he had scored 8 times in USL Championship play at Pasher. He now has 10 goals for his 2 seasons in Indy, and that puts him in a tie for 4th in terms of franchise history and goals scored. Barrett plays that ball to the side, where Iose will lift it up the left flank. The next goal by Pasher will give him just the 4th double-digit goal season in the 6-year history of the franchise. 2 belong to Eamon Zayed, who played in Charlotte a year ago. The other belongs to Jack McInerney, who led last year's Indy 11 with 10 goals scored. Drew Connor leaves the ball for Lucas Farias. Pasher allowed to roam a little bit more and kind of drift towards that right side more than we have seen up until the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it messes up a back line. When he starts to go, he draws so much attention. You have to have guys accountable for him. So as he moves and he's got the creative ability to change positions, it does unbalance a back line.
Oduro off to the races. 8 different Major League Soccer stops in his career. 63 goals at the MLS level for Dom Oduro. Ball finds Aaron Mond. Well, we have talked about the offensive prowess of the Indy 11. Of course, defensively, that's where they have gotten the job done most of the season. They have allowed 3 goals in this building this year. Only 1 of those has come from the run of play. The other 2 have been offset pieces, including last week's late goal, scored by Lewis Hilton for St. Louis in Indy's 2-1 victory. Long distance ball for Dane Kelly.
1v1 take in.
Kelly turns on the Jets, doesn't have a shooting angle. And Farias gets the ball played to his feet. Defender really sitting on Pasher's left side. As the scouting report would tell you, that's exactly what you have to do.
And I'll tell you, you take a look at the way some teams defend Tyler Pasher, and it's curious to me. You know, why you give him, and you know, St. Louis was a great example last week. Farias finds Pasher down on the right side. He's good. He's really good with his right foot, but he's lethal with his left. Why give him the ability to cut across the middle? So you take a look at Charlotte, you look at how they're playing him right now, and they are loading up and trying to push him onto his right.
The all-time leader in clean sheets in the history of the USL Championship, who learned that he and his lovely wife will be having a boy in the next few months.
Did you see that video?
Tremendous.
That was awesome.
Evan Newton.
So excited.
7 clean sheets this year for Indy. And Enzo Martinez has drawn enough of the ire of Matthew Thompson after 2 elongated conversation where a yellow has been shown 8 minutes in.
Yellow card caution has been issued by the referee. Charlotte Independence's number 19.
And Illich
Martinez
gets whistled for a foul. Ilya Illich of the game winner 3 weeks ago against North Carolina FC. And another foul called against Patty Barrett.
And you know, the thing I love about Illich is he can do it all. He can score, he can play make, and you got him sitting behind Kelly and Pasher. So as a playmaker, to have 2 weapons at your disposal and all of this space to try and find for them is a great fit.
This match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, and finish strong. And Gibson whistled for the foul. But of course, it was preceded by two Charlotte players colliding into one another. This is somewhat indicative of Charlotte's season. Enzo Martinez, Isaac Onking, the players who collided. And Onking the worse for wear. For Onking, this is just his third match of the season. And immediately we'll start to see Charlotte get a player ready in case they have got to make an immediate sub. Head coach Mike Jeffries, he was their head coach for 4 seasons. In December was promoted to general manager. Charlotte then won one of their first 14 matches this year. New coach and Jim McGinnis removed. Mike comes back in, immediately wins their first match under his stewardship, 4-1 over Birmingham on June 15th. They then won 4 matches in the next month, but they have not won a match since beating St. Louis on July 13th.
It's tough, and when you look at the table too, you know, they're not out of it. They've not had a good run, but if they can get hot.
You look at Martin Rennie on the sidelines, 13 wins in his second season as the head coach of the Indy 11. Juan Guerra directly to his left. In his first year as an assistant coach after a solid playing career whose final stop was in Indy last year.
Dangerous ball.
Yes, it was, and it went right to Evan Newton. Good look on the restart by Charlotte. Opportunity here for Indy. Hackshaw makes the run charging forward and avoids Alex Martinez in the process. Good takeaway by Charlotte. Now Barrett pestering Nicky Jackson. Jackson 3 goals in 17 matches for Charlotte. And now Jackson having to readjust a boot on the fly. And the ball finds him immediately after he does that. Here is Martinez. His brother Alex now with the ball at his feet. And both are natives of Uruguay, but were raised in the Charlotte area. Alumnus or alumni of Northwestern High School in the area. Good read by Ioze. Illich charging forward. Kelly and Pasher
love the
in
overlap.
support. Illich the lead for Pasher and just didn't get enough on it.
Just too soon. One more touch freezes the defender and gives Pasher more space.
Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit selectsportamerica.com. Connor settles for Indy. Just 12 minutes in his debut performance last Sunday. Spent parts of 3 years with the Chicago Fire, the former Wisconsin Badger. Gibson already has 1 goal against Charlotte this year. That is his only goal of the season, and couldn't get a shooting window that time for Indy. Goal scorers that night back in mid-March: Gibson, Macaulay King, and Thomas Enevoldsen. Nifty footwork by Enzo Martinez, but he and Neville Hackshaw have had some battles over the years, and Hackshaw wins that one.
And that one.
And continues to win his way down the field. Pasher surges forward. The lead for Connor. Couldn't keep it on frame. Drew Connor began this year nearly signing with the Indy 11, but elected to take an opportunity to play in the Czech Republic after appearing in a few games. Now back here in the States. Young man grew up in the northwestern suburbs of Chicago. I talked to him on Friday. I said, what's the family ticket count like for tonight? He goes, at least 5, maybe more.
That's only a 4-hour drive.
Jackson goes to the turf and draws a foul.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I agree with Patty on that. I think Jackson, the ball was a little bit behind him, and as he was turning, It just sort of got caught up on the turf. Dangerous danger. You take a look at Indy 11 on restarts and how dangerous Iose is. Enzo Martinez is that for Charlotte. And to give him a look from here could be trouble.
Just outside of the 18. And again, of the 3 goals allowed by Indy this year at home, 2 have been from restarts in similar positions.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the one last week against St. Louis, that was not much different of a spot than this one.
Fans, Cliff Bar Baking Company, Indianapolis, is proud to team up with Indy 11 to provide meals to IPS students through their Meals for Miles program. It is a full-on committee meeting over the ball right now for Charlotte. But I'd be surprised if anybody other than 19 takes this one.
Yeah, I think that's some confusion. That's probably...
The deflection, and it finds its way in. And it wasn't Enzo Martinez. It was a left foot, and for just the 2nd time this year, the Indy 11 trail in this building. It's Jackson that gets the goal.
Such a sinking feeling as a goalkeeper. You lay out, you know where the ball's going. It nicks off of somebody. You're caught in midair. There's nothing you can do.
Well, it wasn't Jackson. It's On King, although I think it deflected off of Jackson, yes. So On King took the shot. It then volleys off the midsection of Nicky Jackson, and it all adds up to an early 1-goal lead for the Independents.
Yeah, you know, it's an unfortunate development with you know, a restart in a really dangerous space. Ricochet, but when you take a look at how Charlotte's played this year, 39 goals they've given up. This will not be a clean sheet for Miller.
The other time the Indy 11 trailed at home was to Pittsburgh on June 1st. They would win that match 2-1 with a pair of goals in the second half. One from Kenny Walker, the other one from, surprise, surprise, Tyler Pasher. Of the 13 wins for the Indy 11, 6 of them have come on decisive goals from the 80th minute on. And we got a long ways to go to get to minute number 80 tonight. Connor draws the foul for Indy. Whistled against Joel Johnson. Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive Indiana Members Credit Union Indy 11 debit card at any Indiana Members Credit Union branch or online at imcu.com today. Iose sends it in. First head to get to it was that of Jackson. Does this early of a goal for Charlotte really change the tactics of either team, Brad?
I think it's going to change the tactics a little bit of Charlotte in that they don't need to come out. They can sit in a little bit more defensively. I think the game plan for Indy 11 is going to be unchanged.
Pasher.
What a touch.
Tackled away by Oduro. Connor, the give and go to Iose.
Wow.
Iose right foot. Pasher couldn't get a boot to it. Even if he did, he may have been in an offside position.
What a great little half step by Iose to create the space for that shot.
And Iose, not normally the guy that gets many looks for himself in the run of play.
Right there, he just let it run across his body a little bit longer.
This portion of the match presented by Keystone Construction. It's more than construction. Keystone Construction, we build a vision. This is the 3rd goal of the year that Indy has allowed to Charlotte. And they gave up 2 in their 3-2 win back on March 15th. Indy has been a different defensive team really from, say, May on than they were early in the year.
Yeah, and that was an interesting one. Those 2 goals, they came really, really late. You know, you got a 3-0 lead, and you kind of feel like you can ride the game out. And Charlotte got that first one, got a little bit of life, got a quick second one.
And Newton does a good job of keeping that ball in play as Barrett shanked the clearance. One of those goals that night for Charlotte belongs to a player no longer on their roster, one that we know very well in this area, Andrew Gutman, who was on loan from Celtic. His MLS rights were acquired by FC Cincinnati, and since then Gutman's contract has been transferred to FC Cincinnati. More in a moment. Pasher, they can try and get that left foot. Draws 3 defenders. Past the 4th. Shot past the 5th, and Miller keeps this game 1 goal to Charlotte's advantage.
My goodness, and if you've watched tape on Pasher, when he goes to his left foot, it is a driven ball on the ground. So for Miller to be able to keep his feet and be able to make that save is amazing.
You can tell this team studied the scouting report.
No kidding.
They're sitting on that left foot, and Pasher still creates a great look. Pasher finds some space again. And Newton will venture more than midway to midfield to go play that ball. The Sports the Match presented by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Take your business to the next level in a state that works. Pasher, Illich never got to him. Throw in coming. Deflected off the head of Aaron Mon.
But I tell you, if you're looking at Charlotte and how they're playing Tyler Pasher, 2 guys go over. They got a guy to press him, and they got a guy for cover. So Tyler just can't push it and run.
In other words, they're saying somebody else gonna have to beat us.
I like the game plan. When you got a hot player, you know, and you can start to try and figure out ways to, you know, cool them off just a little bit, and then you can implement it in a game plan. That's fantastic.
The 9 goals for Pasher, the most he has had in a season since he was playing in the Finnish 3rd division 6 years ago, when he had 11 at the age of 19. I do think that's the first Finnish 3rd division reference we've ever made on the broadcast.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
6 years ago he was playing pro. He's 25 years old.
He spent some time in Newcastle's system as a youth. Also spent time with Toronto FC during his younger days growing up in Canada. But he is having the best season of his professional career for the Indy 11. So many of those aforementioned late game winners from the 80th minute on have belonged to Pasher. Last week his goal opened the scoring for Indy, with Dane Kelly getting what would turn into the game-winning goal, as St. Louis scored late, as in post 90th minute, in a game that frankly was more lopsided than a 2-1 scoreline would indicate. Farias will play this ball back to Carl Lamette. Fans follow the Indy 11 and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+. Home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today, ESPNplus.com.
What a ball and what a run.
Connor at Miller. Spilled the rebound for a moment, but collects it quickly in front of Dane Kelly.
My goodness, the weight and placement of that ball from Iose to just the only spot that Pasher could have cut in and taken the ball.
If Joel Johnson doesn't stay upright, that's a walk-in opportunity for
goodness.
Pasher. Yeah, he kind of skidded for a bit, but just staying upright likely prevented a goal. Takeaway here, Alex Martinez. Foul given, late whistle. Connor, the guilty party.
And you asked how the early goal can change Charlotte. And you look at Enzo Martinez was in the box moments ago, helping to defend and sitting back and playmaking from the back third.
Quick restart here. Ball finds Oduro. And then a foul on Oduro as Hatshaw does a good job of squaring him off where he can't get a follow-up opportunity.
He's just so solid in the box. I mean, as far as his understanding of when to step, when to press, when to shield.
Just remind your fans you can catch Soccer Saturday every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on the new 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Next Saturday will be a complete recap of Friday night's action as the Indy 11 take on Lou City on Friday night. We'll also talk with IU head coach Todd Yeagley. Of course, his team made the Soccer College Cup a season ago, but lost a lot of key players like Andrew Gutman off of last year's team. That's all coming up this Saturday on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. This portion of this match presented by Honda Manufacturing of Indiana, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Indy comes in having not lost in their last 19 home matches. That streak was started against this Charlotte team last year on July the 7th. 3 days before that, they lost 1-0 on an own goal to the Ottawa Fury. It is not the longest streak without a loss in franchise history. That streak is 21. Pasher streaking in his own right. Farias plays it across. Kelly couldn't get there. A little bit of contact. Referee says play on. Ouimet will not be allowed to play through contact that time as he fouls Oduro. And Kelly pounding the turf in front of the Charlotte goal. And Brandon Miller saying, hey, Trainer might be needed here for the all-time leading goal scorer in USL Championship history.
Tough moment, built up so well. Take a look at Mond, had to stay in because Pasher was with the ball and attacking the 18, so he couldn't step to Farias. That created a little bit of a window.
Kelly sitting on 5 goals this year. There are plenty of attacking options on the bench for the Indy 11. Eugene Starikov, Alioune Jahate could be in play. Gabriel Rodriguez, a player we have not seen yet, native of Brazil. One of the signings announced a couple of weeks ago by the Indy 11. You don't want to make that move some 26 minutes in. You see the remainder of substitutes available tonight. The captain, Matt Watson, Mitch Osmond, Macaulay King on the defensive standpoint, and Jordan Farr, the backup netminder for Indy. See Lucas Farias getting a little hydration. This is not like the matches in England today where they had to have a hydration break because of temperatures in the 90s. No, it is glorious here in central Indiana this weekend. Temperatures in the upper 70s at kickoff of tonight's match with the roof and windows open at Lucas Oil Stadium.
That's a good sign here. It's a good sign.
Now the Indy 11 will play on Friday night against Lou City. That is the USL's game of the week, Wednesday night soccer. You can see it on ESPN3 at 7 o'clock. However, if you want to hear yours truly, not Brad Hodder, he has Friday night off. If you want to watch the Indy 11 telecast, you need to watch on Wish TV. I'll be joined by Mark Newman that night at 7 o'clock. Again, you can see, as that's an offside flag. Good job by the line to hold, a little high line by the Indy 11. So the Indy 11 Louisville City match is the national match of the week in the USL Championship. It is on ESPN3. However, you want to hear our telecast, 7 o'clock, Wish TV, Friday night.
How do you do this many games without losing your voice?
Oh, you think this is my natural voice?
You talked for about 24 hours straight this last day.
Well, I had high school football Friday night. There was some Colt story that happened last night during the actual game that I was calling. So
what?
Jose. Illich draws a foul. There have been a lot of whistles in the first 30 minutes of this match.
Yeah, a little bit late too. I don't know if he's seeing a chance for advantage or he just has a late whistle.
Well, I think it's legitimate. Joel Johnson, the guilty party there.
Oh, it's a good foul. Yeah, no, but I just would have thought that's as soon as you see it.
And On King will earn a bit of a talking to before the spray is placed down. And the brothers Martinez wishing to have a word with Iose before this set piece is taken.
This is a good spot for Iose. Can bend that ball right on the edge of Miller's range. Then you're hoping you got Ouimet or Hackshaw or Connor go up for it.
And great that we could hear Brandon Miller say basically to Enzo Martinez, hey, go out, look for the guy sitting out. No need for the wall there. Ball played across. Ouimet couldn't get to it. But eventually Enzo Martinez will clear that ball back to midfield.
And it's those little things. It's a good thing that he slid Enzo Martinez in there, because if he doesn't, that ball pops right out to Tyler Gibson.
Which is exactly what the keeper saw, which is why he said, hey, go out and cover the outlet.
And if you saw the film from last week, you know, where I think it was Kenny Walker finds Tyler Gibson right at the edge of the 18, and either off the crossbar or just a great save.
Iose charging forward. Gibson and Connor couldn't connect on the passes at midfield, which is rare for Gibson, considering he leads this team not only in passes, but his completion ratio is nearly 89%. That's a stat that we don't often delve into in the broadcast, but basically it means that usually when the ball leaves Tyler's foot, it finds a teammate.
And the tough part with it is that you could understand that maybe in the back third, where you're knocking it between your goalkeeper and you're playing some safe passes under light pressure, but he's in the grind. He's in the blender his whole game.
Now Farias didn't exactly like that pass, I'm sure, but it ends up as a good result. Corner coming for the Indy 11. Dane Kelly, not exactly at full stride right now. No Indy 11 players are warming up, so Dane's going to be given the chance to work through this. And we've seen Iose take some corners. Kenny Walker take some corners this year. Kenny not in the 18 tonight, so it'll be all Iose this evening. It's ruled that Iose was in an offside position. But when Gibson left him the ball, that he was offside. That's the reason why Ouimet had such an uncontested look on goal. Fans, this portion of the match brought to us by Keystone Construction. It's more than construction. We build a vision. Iose looking for Illich. Ball caroms around, but no further assistance there for Indy. And Miller makes the relatively easy play. Just your standard diagonal 40-yard on-target ball from Iose.
You know what? There's no surprise anymore.
Farias makes a run right side. Illich tries to find Pasher and does. Pasher perhaps made that move a bit too quick in his own mind. Feet didn't respond in time.
Yeah, but you saw, I mean, it's the angle of pressure from On King.
Joel Johnson charging forward. Plays that ball across. Barrett got there first, but Barrett couldn't keep it in play. Corner coming for Charlotte.
Tough hop, but he had to play it. He had to play it because it was a ball that was bent in behind. And I think it was Taku that was right in behind him.
You're just joining us. Set piece goal, a deflection from Isaac On King to Nicky Jackson has resulted in Charlotte having the early 1-goal lead. Peter Evans in the capo stand, leading the charge for the Brickyard Battalion on this red out night, sponsored by the Indigo Red Line. On King will send it in eventually. Got ahead to it. Did Charlotte and Jackson. But that was not a controlling one. And a throw-in coming next to the corner flag for Indy. Good look at Carl Lamet last week for the Indy 11. His 50th appearance for the club in 2 seasons. Of the players on the current roster, only Matt Watson have played in more games with the Indy 11 than has Carl Lamet.
It's been a sneaky buildup of games for Matt Watson.
Hasn't started as many games this year, just 6. Newton, good read. Snared that, and now launches Pasher. Pasher has a 1v2 with Farias charging forward. Pasher gets that preferred left side. Kelly applying support as well. Good recovery by Charlotte. Now Kelly draws 3 sets of eyes. Finds Pasher. He'll switch it up to Iose. Connor wants a back post ball. Got it! Wow. Couldn't get it on frame.
I'll tell you, well defended by Johnson, too. You know, I mean, there's nothing but 50 yards of space behind him, and he was able to get just enough of a step to keep Tyler Pasher from turning the corner. What a ball.
Like in the vision of Iose, and we are, our broadcast location, we're up kind of up 2 levels above the field. So when I say Connor looking for a back post ball means I saw his hand go up. I'm not trying to pass a ball, the ball at my feet. But at the same time, Iose saw the exact same thing, so he goes, okay, 30 yards down the field, let me put it exactly on target. Good win by Gibson.
Good turn.
Illich.
One too many touches there.
Couldn't get a win 1v2. Dominic Oduro. Since that goal, there has not been a lot of possession for the Independents. Now here's Pasher again with space. Kelly waits for a little support. Nine behind the ball now for Charlotte. Farias plays it across. Illich couldn't get there, but another corner coming for the Indy 11. The Sports the Match presented by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Take your business to the next level in a state that works.
It's got to be so comforting. You take a look at how often they use Iose just to relieve a little bit of pressure. To pick your head up when you're under pressure and see him, even if he's got a man on him, he's not going to lose the ball, and he's likely going to find a dangerous option with it.
Iose bends it in traffic, loose ball, and eventually cleared by Charlotte. Players from neither side could find the ball there for a moment. Haven't seen many loose change goals like that for the Indy 11 this season. Had a couple early from Neville Hackshaw. But this has much more been a team about scoring goals in the run of play than they were a year ago. Last year they relied on a lot of set pieces. Illich couldn't keep that at his feet. Kelly provides some pressure. And Connor avoids some of his own. Farias finds a way to split two defenders to find Pasher.
Look at the respect, too.
3 sets of eyes locked on him.
And nobody's stepping to the ball.
Illich. Iose. Iose, right foot, doesn't get through. Hugh Roberts amongst those that got in the line of sight for Iose.
It was well defended.
Illich, the back heel. Good read by Patty Barrett. Possession belongs to the Indy 11. The lead to the Charlotte Independents. No foul given. Enzo Martinez a little disturbed by that.
He's got to be careful. He got picked up that early yellow.
Alex Martinez with a great sliding tackle away from Pasher. Well done by Barrett to keep the attack alive. Farias, the lift above Oduro, and gets whistled for the foul, does Oduro. And Farias did a good job of selling that by simply stopping and looking at the assistant referee, basically forcing, saying, hey, got to make a call here.
And interesting, too, is because I thought if he would have kept pursuing that ball, he would have had a pretty good opportunity as well.
So from a set-piece standpoint, again, it's Iose that will steer it in. What you looking at here, Coach?
Well, I tell you, you've still got the nice ball in between the range of Brandon Miller, but it's with Iose on an in-swinger now, so it's a little bit more difficult for him to place. But I also like just touching it to Tyler Pasher here at the top of the box and playing 2v2 with Iose.
Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time in the first half, brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the 11. Iose sends it in, made its way back post. Ouimet flicks it down, and Carl Ouimet gets the goal. His first of the season, and how about the two defenders combined to provide the goal, and we're all tied up at 1.
I'll tell you what, Sue, such a massive goal right before the half. You don't go in thinking, okay, how are we going to pull this back? What do we got to change? Do we have to press our line higher? Now you go back in and just say, okay, it'll be there. We're even. We'll come out. We'll fight with our normal game plan.
Great job by Hackshaw just to keep it in, and Ouimet buries it. After Carl had 3 goals a season ago, his first this year, and we're all tied up at 1.
That's just how you draw up that restart. Bounce it in the 6. Head the bouncing ball back across.
So many times, Brad, those balls that get to that back post are just wasted. Great effort by Hackshaw to keep it in play.
Yeah, and it's such a game changer, too, because all of the energy, all of the attention then has to shift to that back post, which leaves a situation like Ouimet, able to stay on the other stick and have a tap in like that.
So each side with a goal. On King. Oh, good looking ball here, but Newton read it quickly. But Enzo Martinez was onside. A week ago, Charlotte lost 3-1. They have allowed 3 goals or more 6 times this year. Ball finds Pasher, lovely back heel for Farias, but better tackle by Steven Tico. First time we have called his name tonight. Get the feeling there are going to be more goals in this one. There might be more goals by halftime.
Yeah, and you look, too, if it stays like this, you think maybe at the 65th, 70th minute mark, you got Herrera coming in on fresh legs.
Kelly wants the long distance ball, but again, no supporting run that time. Miller content to give his teammates a bit of a chance to breathe. Farias getting just his 9th start of the season for Indy. Give away. By the way, 3 minutes of stoppage time about to be added. So still plenty of time here for either side to find the back of the net before we get to halftime. Gibson doesn't let Martinez through. Connor and Hackshaw didn't get that pass delivered the way he had hoped.
Yeah, that was a little too much short in and around the box under pressure. Charlotte was coming, they were pressing every part of it.
King had all kind of space and time, but did not deliver that ball in the proper spot. Went right to Newton. And that'll be a Charlotte throw in as Farias and Kelly collide with one another. Oduro looking for the foul, didn't get it. Gibson able to peel that ball away from Jackson. And Iose goes the turf. Enzo Martinez draws the whistle.
Yeah, he's not going to stay in this match long if he's not careful.
Having a very civil conversation. No, he was already sitting on a yellow. And that yellow was more for dissent. It wasn't for any particular foul. That yellow came in minute number 8. And Iose being told to move the restart point much further back. Pasher lifting it for Hackshaw, right idea.
That's a clever ball.
Well, creativity of restarts is something that Martin Rennie talked about earlier this week, and again, we saw it a week ago. We're seeing it again tonight.
And Hackshaw's been very involved in the attack today.
Well, I would say fluidity of the attack is something we have seen now in each of the last 2 weeks.
I really love it. I mean, you take a look. We talked early about, you know, how Tyler Pasher's just, you know, almost positionless, moving across the field at will as he sees options. And Iose is the same way. And when you have that kind of interplay between players, it becomes really, really difficult to pick up. It's just a complex problem that you have to start solving defensively.
Just a bit too strong on the touch that time by Jackson. In the closing seconds of half number 1. If you're Martin Rennie, how do you feel about this first half, Brad?
You feel good. You feel a whole lot better than you did 6-7 minutes ago, because now you can get back to what you've seen on film, on how you're playing this team straight up, and you love how dangerous your team has been.
Might there be one more left in the offing? Iose plays that ball in the middle of the field.
Tell you, and Johnson played that well again. He sat in the passing lane, so Iose could not find Tyler Pasher.
Well done by Enzo Martinez. Now you've got a 3v2.
Uh-oh.
Ball caroms to Oduro. Newton retreating. Oduro looking for a window. And Hackshaw closes said window.
That's tough. You do not want to take Patty Barrett on Neville Hackshaw's side.
We're past our 3 minutes. That ball stays in play. Newton will snag it, and that'll be it. Charlotte gets the game opener on Nicky Jackson's 4th goal of the season. The Indy 11 get the equalizer on that man, Carl Lamette's 1st goal of the season, on the 1st assist from his fellow defensive line mate, Nabil Hackshaw, of the season as well. On this red-out night at Lucas Oil Stadium, both sides have a goal in the opening 45 minutes. Our score, Charlotte 1, Indy 1, as you're watching Indy 11 soccer on MyIndy TV and ESPN+.
BSU ticket. Indy 11 is proud to honor tonight's official youth club partner of the game, Sporting Indiana FC. Sporting Indiana FC was founded in 2005, located in the Geist area and a proud member of Impact Soccer Club. We want to give a big thank you to the players, coaches, and everyone involved with Sporting Indiana FC and Geist Area Soccer League for their dedicated support to growing the game in Indiana. Please give our youth club partner of the game, Sporting Indiana FC, a big round of applause. For more info on how your team can become a youth club partner, please visit Indy11.com or call 317-685-1100.
Back at Lucas Oil Stadium, tied at 1, the Charlotte Independents and the Indy 11, as the 11 go for a 20th consecutive match in this building without a loss. More on this match coming up throughout the rest of halftime show, but now a look at the news and notes around the USL Championship Division. This is Supporters Week. Frankly, every day is Supporters Day when it comes to the Indy 11, because there are no better supporters in this league than that of the Brickyard Battalion. Something we have been talking about throughout the course of really the entirety of the season is how backloaded the schedule is for the Indy 11. If you include tonight's match, the Indy 11 has 13 matches in their final 53 days of the season. You fast forward to Friday night, they will play 5 times in 15 days. So they'll start playing catch-up in terms of games in hand. After night, both Indy and Loudoun have the most matches of any team in the league. They have 12 remaining. And the story continues for Phoenix Rising. They may never lose again. They are 7 points away with 2 months of the season left to go from clinching a playoff spot.
It's just incredible. I mean, it's a storybook season for them.
Solomon Asante leading the league in goals. Time for us to steal some time here at halftime, as in Kelsey Steele from USLChampionship.com.
Obi charging on, curling the cross. That's excellent from Harvino. Quickly to Watson. Watson gonna take a shot. Oh my! That is sensational from the Irishman. Plays it across and finds the one-handed attempt.
Welcome into episode 13 of Steal Some Time. We are going to start over in the East and chat a little bit about North Carolina hosting the Pittsburgh Riverhounds this week. And I think that we can easily say that nobody saw a 5-0 outcome, at least in North Carolina's favor. coming out of week 24, but let me tell you, North Carolina stuck it to the Riverhounds, shut down that unbeaten streak that they had going. It really, I mean, they dominated play, outshot Pittsburgh 13-5, 8 shots on target as well, which is fantastic. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, didn't have a single shot on target, and I think that's obviously a major difference maker. North Carolina looked good, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, the same week Austin Deleuze announces his retirement, he then goes and dedicates a 5-0 win over Pittsburgh to the Oak City supporters.
So cool.
Definitely didn't play out how I thought it would.
Right.
And I think that I speak for the vast majority of fans around the championship who just kind of looked at that and said, what the heck's going on with Pittsburgh?
Elsewhere ahead in week 25, I don't know how much longer we can talk about Phoenix, but they're giving us no other choice. They're back for another dollar beer night, and this time they're hosting Sacramento. And I'm going to go on a limb here. I'm going to say that this story's different. As good as Phoenix's backline has been, I think this is the biggest chance all season that Phoenix is going to have a run for their money on dollar beer night, going for 15 straight wins.
Are you calling I won't make you go out.
No, I'll call that. Yeah, I think this
you
is
think
it.
They're gonna lose
I
or
do.
draw?
I think.
I was just gonna let you say that the win streak is snapped.
I think the win streak
She's
is
visually
snapped.
hedging right now.
Yeah,
I
I see
am.
the bullets, the little beads of sweat just starting to she can feel the heat here. She feels the pressure. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna call it. I think the L comes.
Now listen, Kelsey Steele is the star of that show. That's Captain Skinny Jeans. Scott Stewart, former Indy 11 PR man. He's got to get at least dual billing on that. Time now for our out-of-town scoreboard, which is presented by Crown Plaza, Indianapolis downtown. Let them assist you with your next meeting or event. Obviously playing on Sunday. You kind of see what the rest of the league does in front of you from a positive result standpoint, if you will. As far as the teams the Indy 11 are chasing, North Carolina losing yesterday at Lou City helps keep them closer to them, but the two-time defending Cup champs have now suddenly won 4 matches in a row.
Yeah, and they know how to win there. And so, you know, while they're just kind of sleepily hanging out at the bottom of the top half of the table, never count them out.
And then currently, Birmingham Legion leading Bethlehem Steel 1-0 at halftime. Both teams playing with 10 men. A double red card handed out there in the 42nd minute. Again, a look at the updated league table. Red Bulls 2, 10 points clear of Indy, but have played 5 additional matches after tonight. That number will come down to 4. And again, those numbers will start getting peeled away over the course of really the next couple of weeks, as the Indy 11 will have 3 midweek matches during the month of September. As far as the playoff picture is concerned for Charlotte, this would be a huge point, or 3 points, if it plays out that way tonight, as they are currently on the outside looking in of the playoff picture.
Well, if Charlotte has any hopes of postseason, they got to start pulling some points.
And the flip side of that is that while the Indy 11 have 12 matches left to play after tonight, Charlotte has just 8 remaining following the season.
Yeah, that's tough. Every one of them, they have to draw some points from. I mean, they're there. Even though the season hasn't gone the way they wanted, they are within striking distance.
And the opportunity is there for the Independents tonight. They scored first. The Indy 11 would level going into halftime. Our score at the break, 1-1. Highlights and stats when we come back, as you're watching Indy 11 soccer on MyIndy TV and ESPN+.
Sports injury? See community health Network Sports Medicine Specialist. Visit Community Sports Injury Walk-In Clinic, open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 10 a.m. Look more, eecommunity.com/walk-in. At Honda Manufacturing of Indiana, we're proud to build the Civic, CR-V, and the all-new Insight. But we put more than cars into our communities. We are dedicated to our roles as corporate citizens and environmental stewards in Greensburg and across the state. Learn more about how we're making a difference at indiana.honda.com. All right, fans, get on your feet. It's time for the Honda T-shirt toss. Who wants a T-shirt?
And far. Postcard night in downtown Indianapolis. Indy 11, Charlotte Independence, currently tied at 1 after 45 minutes. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you as always. Thank you for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer here on MyIndy TV and ESPN Plus. Entertaining from both sides in the opening 45.
Absolutely. I think, both teams feel like they're in a good spot right here. Charlotte has been able to navigate the first 45 without letting the game get away, and Indy clawed their way back in and now have all the weapons at their disposal.
Time now for halftime highlights. The scoring started by the Charlotte Independents on the restart. And again, they gave themselves some really good looks early.
Yeah, and this was a tough call here. I mean, the ball was played in behind him, but there was enough contact to make the call. And tough restart in that Evan Newton had it covered, but the deflection winds up in the back of the net.
On King takes the shot. Jackson with his midriff steers it in to make it 1-0, and it stayed that way for the better part of 25 minutes, despite some good looks for Indy.
Oh, and I tell you, such an athletic save by Miller. That was just fantastic. And you look at this ball and the way that Johnson defends it. He does everything possible to prevent Pasher from getting in. And there's still an opportunity for Indy 11 at the top of the box.
But on the restart, the foul drawn by Lucas Farias. Ioze to Hackshaw to Amet to the back of the net and ties us at 1.
Yeah, I think if you do the head count in there, you've probably got 8, maybe 9 Charlotte players inside the 6. Met's the only one that gets a touch to it.
And that's the way it would stay going to halftime, a score of 1-1. Let's quickly go to the field where we're now joined by the head coach of the Indy 11 in Martin Rennie. Coach, your thoughts on the opening 45 minutes of play?
Yeah, I just think there needs to be a little bit more tempo to what we're doing. I think generally the first half wasn't bad. We were a little bit unlucky with the goal that we lost. We created quite a lot of chances and had a lot of the ball. But when we get chances to put the ball in the box, we need to be a little bit more proactive on that and play a little bit quicker and get into it a bit more in the second half.
From a tempo standpoint, some changes offensively, defensively, anything you change up from that side of the ledger?
I think just making sure when we have the ball that we're marked up well so that when we lose it, we can win the ball back quickly and not be open. And I think that's the main point at the moment.
As always, Coach, thank you. We'll talk to you after the match.
Okay, thanks.
Head coach Martin Rennie, kind enough to join us at halftime as he does at each and every home match. Time now for a look at the match stats. Again, possession, 2-1 in favor of the Indy 11. Shots, 3-1 in favor of the Indy 11. But look at that for Charlotte. 4 shots, 3 of them on target.
Yeah, they're being efficient, but I tell you, it's the volume, and that's what Martin referenced in there. Is, hey, let's be a little bit more dynamic, a little bit better pace. Maybe you look to exploit how they're playing Tyler Pasher. If they're going to bring 3 bodies to him and try and shut down his space, that frees up Dane Kelly, that frees up Ilya Illich. So you've got some options that you can play off of him.
Looks like no substitutions for either side before we get to half number 2. And Dane Kelly, bit of an ankle turn early in the half, able to play through it. Leading goal scorer Tyler Pasher for the Indy 11. And so many of those have come during the second half of matches, looking to follow that same script here in half number 2. The Indy 11 are back on the road on Friday night in Louisville. The next time they will be here will be a week from this coming Wednesday when they play host to the New York Red Bulls 2. 7 o'clock is the kickoff. You can watch it on MyIndy TV and ESPN Plus. Officials all ready. So are we. Indy had a shot 20 seconds in to half number 1. See if that can be the case in half number 2. Joel Johnson able to shield that away from Iose. Charlotte has not won in their previous 3 tries against the Indy 11. Looking for a first win is Charlotte since July 13th. They've pulled just 2 draws in their last 5 matches.
That's tough. There's such a mental side of the game, too, that does grind on you. I mean, you get into places like here where you're up a goal, and it's almost like you have this feeling like, okay, we're going to give one up. How do we at least pull a draw out of here?
Good pressure by Kelly, with Pasher lurking in the area.
He creates so much off of just, being that pesky defender.
Two goals for Kelly at this level, and Jorge Herrera 71. I expect to see him off the bench at some point tonight for the Independents. Tico got there first before Pasher could get to it, and then Enzo Martinez will lift it forward. Stumble by Charlotte, eventually ruled as a foul. And not too much in terms of a protest from Ilya Illich on that call. This portion of the match brought to us by the Denny Companies. Denny Companies, tearing down the past so you can build the future. Oduro. Womet could not take a chance. He'll knock it over the byline for a corner kick.
Yeah, that was a nice ball, and Ouimet did well to recover and get back and poke that away before Oduro could get that ball to the ground and under control.
Enzo Martinez, he has 6 assists on the season to take this one. Connor got there first. Tico couldn't get much on it. And then the blast by Afram Taku. First time we have called his name tonight. Could not get through. There goes Pasher. He's offside.
Yep.
As soon as he turned on the Jets, the defenders hit the brakes.
Yeah, they knew they were not going to catch him, but we can stop him this way. And that was right there. The ball needed to be delivered.
When Pasher goes full bore, he kind of looks like Dash from The Incredibles.
I don't. Okay.
Just agree with him.
Yeah, right. I agree.
We'll rehearse that better next time. My apologies. Iose nods that forward.
That's a great ball.
Pasher will settle. Illich was the target, never really got to him.
Oh, good ball.
Was that a handball?
Yep.
No, waved off. Wow. I thought it was. Official says no. It was just inside of the 18th. And now Martinez trying to catch Newton off his line. Will simply knock it back to the opposing keeper some 50 yards down the pitch. Obviously, we will take a look at that when we have a stoppage in play. Illich able to get around Jackson. Looking for Pasher, couldn't get it to him.
Clever, but that ball's got to be out wide.
But I think advantage was being played, and Indy will get a restart as Illich was fouled before he set up the pass. And now Iose asking, hey, should that have been a handball? Should that have been a penalty? So from the ground level, fans are seeing the same replay you're seeing here. And the arm was tucked into the body, but it did look like it hit the extended arm. And really, I think that's more of a rules interpretation more than did that make contact?
Right, and the ball landed at his feet too. So
back post for Jose Miller. Got a paw to it. Kelly elects to keep it in play. Steers it in, little back heel by Hackshaw, couldn't find a teammate. And now Pasher finds it onside. Barrett, left foot got scuffed. As Barrett was looking for his first goal of the year. Had a window there, but didn't do what he wanted to with it.
Yeah, clever though. I mean, he has a fake shot to create a little bit bigger window for himself.
Now the Indy 11 have some guys somewhat out of place defensively as Wimet just now gets to the back line as he had been forward on the set piece. Looking for Martinez, but kind of broke off the run. Enzo still gives a thumbs up for the idea. He's looking for his 4th goal of the year. Fans, Indy 11 Premium Suites are the perfect way to entertain your guests. Learn more at Indy11.com or call 317-685-1100. Number of home matches here are winding down for the year. Route 1 ball finds Farias. Does track it down in time. Slides it through to Pasher. He whiffs. Illich's shot didn't really hit the fastball that time. What a volley!
Jose!
If he hits that, of all the splendid plays he has made in 2 years in Indianapolis, that'd have been number 1.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's not really a great place to shoot, but this is a one-touch volley, and Miller has to make a save.
Pasher the whiff. Again, Illich didn't hit all of it. Jose certainly did.
Unreal.
Jose plays it across, looking back post. Illich, bicycle.
Oh my goodness!
Volley! Flag stays down. Goal, Indy 11. Drew Connor in his 2nd Indy 11 game gets his first Indy 11 goal.
Was that Patty Barrett? Holy smokes!
He doesn't need the new red line. He'll take his bicycle to work, keeps it in play, and Connor delivers the go-ahead goal.
Oh my goodness.
Illich keeps it alive. Barrett puts it on target.
It's ridiculous.
And the sitter from Connor.
That was a great shot on frame.
And it was Oduro that kept him onside. Oduro was kind of out of the play along the end line. And that's what kept the flag down for Connor, who has played less than 100 minutes for the Indy 11 to find the back of the net.
Wow.
So first Indy 11 lead of this one. Kelly the target. Tico got there first. So again, here's a look at that last goal. Great job by our camera crew. Again, it's Oduro behind the play. That's why the flag stayed down.
And hard to fault Oduro. The last thing you think is Patty Barrett's going to put a bicycle kick on goal that Miller's going to have to make a save and leave it at Connor's feet.
Think of the 2 saves that Miller had to make on Jose and Barrett, and Indy still gets a goal out of it.
He's incredible. I mean, this is the same thing that you saw in the first time that Indy and Charlotte played. He makes great save after great save. It's just, you know, he's unfortunate that the ball keeps finding the back of the net.
Pasher, ball took a little deflection off of his back. Well, another fantastic ball from Jose.
I'm numb from Patty Barrett's bicycle. I'm just numb.
Jose.
Unreal.
That's 50 yards across the field.
This should not be happening.
Farias goes down. outside of the 18, but contact wasn't given anyway. Goal kick coming for Charlotte.
That's unbelievable. If Patty Barrett doesn't make that his screensaver, then I'm going to break his computer. That thing needs to be on loop constantly.
5 goals have been scored by the Indy 11 against Charlotte this year. They have come from 5 different goal scorers. Pasher again finds some space. Turns back that left foot.
Week.
Instead finds Iose. Rolled to have gotten the ball first, did Johnson. I think that's the right call.
Yep.
Yes, there was contact, but clearly had the ball first.
If you're Charlotte, what do you do? Okay, you stop Pasher from beating it with your left foot. He slides it across the box. Now you got Iose.
There's Kelly, but just a bit too strong. Right idea.
And you can see how that goal has changed Charlotte. Now they have to. They got to press. They got to open up. They got to put some more numbers forward, and that's creating these gaps that Indy 11 is sliding the ball into.
Fans, for standing stats on the latest league news, be sure to visit USLChampionship.com. Enzo Martinez has a good look going here. Pass could not slide through. And Gibson does a good job of steering that ball towards Iose. Kelly. Ball doesn't make it his way. Great job by Hugh Roberts to get in the passing lane. And Pasher will take a bit of a hydration break and let Iose come throw this ball in. And weather conditions could not be more perfect tonight. This is the 3rd event at Lucas Oil of the weekend. High school football doubleheader Friday. Colts yesterday, Indy 11 tonight. Roof and windows have been open for all 3.
And you have been in the building for all 3.
No, I had a high school football game out of the building Friday night, but this is the...
They let you out of this building?
Amazingly,
what
yes.
What the heck?
This is not my home, believe
I
it or
thought
not,
you had
closed.
a shot collar on, that every time you got close to the door, you'd be called back.
Kelly, blast with the right hit. Foot. Only 2 goals this year from outside of the 18 for the Indy 11. Kelly nearly had a 3rd.
So dangerous. I mean, that is a small, tiny window, but Dane Kelly is always on.
Miller eyeballing that the entire way. Throw in coming for Indy.
I think in about 10 minutes or so, you got to see Jorge Herrera. If they're gonna, you put him up top with Oduro and Martinez, you got 3 really lethal weapons.
The lead for Pasher. Pasher trying to get to that corner. Good job by Roberts to knock it sideways. Iose to Hackshaw. Good combination work here by Indy. It's Lamette. Gives it a blast.
He's a goal scorer. Why not?
This portion of the match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, and finish strong. Fans, you get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for Indy 11, then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on the Indy 11's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for more on your club. Illich's pass a bit too strong for Lucas Farias. Got a good look at Herrera on the sidelines warming up just a moment ago.
You need to be careful of moments like this. I mean, you know, Charlotte has dangerous weapons. Martinez can serve from virtually anywhere. attacking in your defending half and defending third, really got to be really careful about giving up restarts.
And of the 4 goals Indy allowed, has allowed in this building, 3 have been on restarts. Only 1 from the run of play all season long. And there's a giveaway by Hatshaw. Charlotte looking to pounce.
4 on 3.
On King has Aduro to his left and couldn't get it to him. And now Farias leads the charge. There's Pasher trying to split 2 defenders. Can't do it. Late decision. Assistant referee helps. The assistant referee waved the flag, said yes, that was a foul. Offered a second set of eyes. Tico the guilty party. Free kick coming for Indy. About 25 yards from goal.
That's a dangerous spot. This you could put that nail in the coffin here.
Good piece of officiating too.
Yeah.
On the replay, you saw it was clear. Looks like Matt Watson, by the way, might be the first Indy 11 substitution. He's not ready yet. He's going over some tactics with Juan Guerra on the sidelines. As Matty looks to make his 20th appearance of the season. Only Tyler Gibson now has played in every Indy 11 match. Tonight his 22nd start of the season.
He may try this himself.
Barrett and Ioze. It's Ioze. He did, but not on target. Ioze, 1 goal this year, came from the penalty spot. And a 2-1 loss to Hartford back on July 13th. He had 4 goals a season ago. And Ouimet causes sponsors to lose attention for the next several minutes.
Goodness.
The economy has tumbled on the far sideline. Shot.
Little too much.
Connor, good win. Really good win. It leads to this. Illich. Pasher to his right. Kelly to his left.
Good find.
Far right, Farias. Farias! Trying to slide it near post, and again, Miller has been outstanding for Charlotte this evening.
What a good find. And Illich takes just enough touches to attack centrally to keep the defenders frozen in the middle and unable to get out to Farias.
Enzo to Alex, just a bit off on that pass for Charlotte. Matt Watson will enter, by the way. Dane Kelly has run his race for this evening as he'll exit in minute 64. Which means if Jorge Carrera can enter the game and find one for Charlotte, he would be on level footing in terms of the all-time goals scored list.
You know, and I know that as athletes, your main focus is winning the game. But you can't tell me that Herrera isn't taking note of that at this point.
Kelly sits at 72, Herrera at 71. Johnson takes it away from Ioze. Good look here, and Ouimet
cleaned it up. Well
takes
done.
no chances.
And I'll tell you what, Johnson, with the job he's done on, you can't shut down Tyler Pasher, but you can keep him in check, and he's done that. And then his ability to get forward. I've been very impressed with his performance tonight.
So corner coming. Enzo Martinez will take it. Alex Martinez a bit slow to get off the turf, giving us a little more time before this corner. And Newton with the left hand swats it away from an on-rushing Hugh Roberts. Farias and Watson elect to slow things down temporarily before Farias finds Pasher. Connor had his pocket picked by Jackson. By the way, it looks like Herrera is about to head towards the fourth official for the Independents. And Enzo will like to have that one back. This portion of this match is brought to us by Delta Faucet. Delta Faucet. See what Delta can do. Enzo Martinez, a first-round pick back in 2012 of Real Salt Lake in the MLS Super Draft. And spent last year with the Colorado Rapids. Back in Charlotte this season. Aaron touch from Iose.
You don't see that much.
And Alex Martinez being told to back up just a few paces on the restart. You see Herrera getting some instructions from the sidelines. Combination work by Watson and Connor. Watson giving you a bit of a juggling exhibition at midfield. The ball deflects off of Tyler Pasher. Could see a dual substitution coming in here. Valentin Sabella also getting ready to enter. Now Johnson plays it across. Hackshaw didn't hit that the way he wanted to. Corner coming. We certainly have seen plenty of restart opportunities for Charlotte tonight. And it looks like both players will be waved on before the corner kick is taken. Sabella 1 goal and 9 previous appearances. He will enter as Aduro will exit across the byline, so Aduro's night is done. And then Onking will come out the more traditional way as Herrera will enter. So 2 of the 3 subs in one fell swoop for head coach Mike Jeffries. Looking back post. Martinez couldn't line it up. And Illich will just knock that ball about 50 yards away to hit the reset button. By the way, this portion of this match presented by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Take your business to the next level in a state that works.
Leaving the match, 7, Domenico Duro.
Well directed by Gibson. Defying the feet of teammate Lucas Farias. 2 subs available for Indy, 1 for Charlotte.
And Charlotte's done well to grab a little bit of this match back right now.
This is the longest streak of possession they've had in a while. Or at least being played at their end of the pitch as the ball curled at the feet of Indy 11 defenders. Farias leaves it for Pasher. Pasher is onside. That's a foul. It's outside of the 18. That's not a penalty. It's outside of the 18. But it's awfully close.
What a touch. Just his ability to understand where the pressure's coming from and take just enough of a nick on the ball to get it into the space to use his speed.
Aaron Mon, the guilty party. And if that's a step or 2 later, that's a point to the spot. Great job by our camera crew to show you just outside of the 18. What are you dialing up here, Coach?
I'll tell you what, I like the Hackshaw and we met crashing into the box, and Iose just putting it right there across the 6. I also like Pasher up at the top.
Pasher is unmarked outside of the 18.
Don't particularly like that.
Sabella got there first for Charlotte. Now Watson steers it towards Iose. Iose sends it in. And Barrett will play it backwards to Tyler Gibson. Nothing really materialized from that opportunity for Indy. Iose looking for Illich. Roberts got there first.
It's the little things. It's the little things that players do that make them great. And you look at that ball that was coming in the air. Pasher just, while the ball is floating to him, takes his eyes off of it, checks his shoulder, finds out where the pressure is, knows he can bring it down, and knows in which direction he can take his first touch.
Now Watson. Pasher, good-looking ball from Connor. Watson can't get there in time. The USL's elite youth platform, USL Academy, allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Illich. We have learned quickly that Drew Connor is not afraid to mix it up in midfield.
Yeah, we learned that in a matter of seconds.
Good read by Alex Martinez to steer that ball away from Iose. And Barrett deemed to have been a bit too physical with Enzo Martinez. First real touch for Herrera tonight. Good looking ball here.
Oh, wow.
It's Sabella. But I don't think he kept it. He did not keep it in the field of play.
That's a ball that he needs to do better with. Played him in really brilliantly.
The sports of this match presented by Ivy Tech. Career start here. Apply for free at ivytech.edu.
Well, you can see the urgency in Charlotte. They've stepped their line of pressure. They're not allowing Indy even goal kicks out uncontested.
Sabella is Argentinian, but grew up in Key Biscayne, Florida, and was playing for the Florida Soccer Soldiers when he was signed by the club in June. The Soccer Soldiers made a nice little run in the U.S. Open Cup this year. By the way, the finals of that Tuesday night. Atlanta and Minnesota United will compete for the Open Cup championship. Good looking ball for Illich. Just couldn't slide it through to Pasher.
It's the right thought.
Yep.
It's the right thought.
Maybe that's a ball in the air instead of on the ground, and it's a different conversation. Martinez doing a great job of walking that ball about 10 yards up the field. Throw-in coming for Indy. This portion of the match brought to us by Honda Manufacturing of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
Hey, look at Charlotte. They've had some good and interesting ideas over the last 20 minutes, but it's just that last touch, that last pass that's breaking down.
Alex Martinez. Enzo Martinez. Little give and go here. Womet got in the way.
Brilliant.
But not out of danger just yet. Mond. Newton.
I tell you, that ball bounced and held up just enough on Martinez that Womet could get in there and get a piece of it. There's a brilliant ball through, but it just pops up right there and not in a place where he can do anything with it to put it on frame, and just hangs there just enough for Womet.
Good closeout by Martinez.
Hello.
Herrera. Advantage is being played.
Herrera's an interesting player. It comes through him, and then he lays it off and just sort of disappears, and then pops up in critical spots.
Barrett got there first before Jackson could put much on it. By the way, we're going to see Gabriel Rodriguez for the first time for the Indy 11. Going to replace Ilya Ilic. So we'll see two Brazilians on the field together. Pasher, the long distance target. They'll get there first. Roberts and he collided. Jose content to stand over top the ball for a moment. I think Charlotte extend a little more effort defensively. Credit Charlotte. They have really kind of stemmed the offensive flow for the Indy 11 as of late.
And then it's, you know, some micro decisions that they've made back in here. The last time Pasher had the ball out on the edge, you got Roberts coming out to the ball, and Johnson just tucks in behind him. So when Pasher looks up, it's not there's not the opportunity for him to go.
So Ilya Ilic will exit. Gabriel Rodriguez will make his Indy 11 debut. Signed a couple of weeks ago by the team. He will join Lucas Farias as the Brazilians on the pitch. So now Ilic will exit. Rodriguez joined Drew Connor and Christian Novoa as new players introduced 2 weeks ago by the club, with Thomas Enevoldsen and Kim Do-Yeon exiting. Now Johnson slides it through.
Good ball.
Barrett with the shot block, but a corner coming. This match is far from over. And Patty Barrett gonna get on his teammates and let's go, fellas. Feel kind of an emotional lull right now for the Indy 11.
Yeah, you just have to fall asleep one time.
Martinez steers it in. Herrera the target. Didn't get everything he wanted to on it. And Rodriguez, well defended. Was there a deflection there? No. Corner coming.
Oh.
right idea. Which is not the final touch for Charlotte. Q Roberts was the intended target. Reminder fans that the Indy 11 are part of the USL's Game of the Week coming up on Friday night, which means you can watch the Indy 11 and Lou City FC on ESPN3. Now, a friendly reminder, if you want to watch the Indy 11 broadcast, tune to Wish TV at 7 o'clock, as I'll be joined by Mark Newman for that broadcast, one of our 3 road telecasts this year on Wish TV. Good turn. Connor Rodriguez draws the foul. Free kick coming in the most dangerous of areas. And Tico not happy about the call. Rodriguez brings something that we haven't seen for the Indy 11 in quite some time. That is a target forward. Elliot Collier on loan last year. Ben Spencer going back to year number 1. Zion and Braun both had good size, but Rodriguez goes a good 6'3", 6'4". What's your bet here? I would think maybe a back post steer across goal mouth combination might be in play here. It's worked a couple of times for the Indy 11 tonight. Given where the wall is setting up, it might be a direct shot on goal for Iose.
I think that's why you read this here and you see who's got the better, little gap to place it in, Farias or Iose.
It's Iose directly at Miller. Wherever you go, take the boys in blue with you.
Whoa.
And how about that?
That's unbelievable.
A miscue leads to a freebie for the Indy 11. And a 3rd goal for a 2nd time in as many meetings with the Independents this year.
Your heart goes out for Brandon Miller. He's played a heck of a game.
Miller rolls it out and literally directs it off of Drew Connor.
What are the chances? What are the chances?
And Drew Connor, in his 2nd game with the Indy 11, has the most unlikely of braces. Sometimes a great athletic skill is to stay exactly where you are, is to not move.
Hey, then we're both athletes. We're both good athletes.
The older we get, the better we were. 3-1. I think Connor will be a guest of ours on the post-game show. Abdouli Mansai in for Aaron Mon. So Charlotte has used all 3 substitutions. And frankly, given, I think, the effort that Miller's put in, as you have said, but Charlotte in general has put in, an unfortunate bounce. And see if it leaves opportunity here. Sabella, left foot doesn't get through. Wamet with the shot block.
Brilliantly closed down.
Frankly, Charlotte has played better than to be in a 2-goal deficit right now.
They have, and you look, and it's just an unfortunate series of events for them. And you look at the first time these 2 teams played, and heroic, epic saves by Brandon Miller again, and then the ball finds the back of the net.
By the way, Macaulay King will be the 3rd substitute for the Indy 11. Coming up in a matter of moments. Now let's tell you about the Indy 11 app. Wherever you go, take the boys in blue with you. Download the all-new Indy 11 app in the Apple Store or get it on Google Play. It's the 7th time this year that Charlotte has allowed 3 or more goals. And they have now allowed 42 goals as a team. And there were some late goals in the offing last time for Charlotte that these 2 teams played. As of now, this score is a repeat of the last time out for Charlotte, a 3-1 loss to Nashville. Could there be more? Pasher gets around Roberts, plays it across.
What a ball.
Beautiful back post ball. There's nobody there. Rodriguez, the player closest to it. Our final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of tonight's match, brought to you by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
Tell you look at that play right there, and if Rodriguez had been in camp maybe another 2 weeks and understands what Tyler Pasher can do and how he can get that ball across, that may be a fourth goal.
The 3 goals match the most the Indy 11 have scored at home in a match this year. They got 3 against Birmingham Legion back on June 26th. Indy has scored 4 on a couple of occasions. They have both been away from home. Throw in coming for Charlotte. Before the throw in, the final substitution and a well-deserved curtain call for Drew Connor. Second match with the Indy 11, and he gets a brace. One of those, yes, a bit of a gift, but his reward for hard work was a pair of goals tonight. Macaulay King, the rookie, young man from England who scored a goal against Charlotte back in mid-March, enters the match.
Oh, what a goal that was, too. Kenny Walker plays it across the top of the 18. Macaulay comes in one time, it's just a ball bending away from Brandon Miller on the near post.
Sabella goes down. Wabet got the ball first. Enzo Martinez gives it a blast. Watson got a boot in the way. This result holds, and you'll go to 46 points. They'll jump back into 4th place in the Eastern Conference. They'll be 7 points back of the New York Red Bulls, too. 4 matches in hand. Good work to sneak that past a couple of defenders. Not out of danger yet. Martinez works his way across. Loose ball, knocked outside of the 18. And Pasher now provides some breathing space.
And I tell you, I think everybody took a look, and you saw Herrera just hanging out.
There's Rodriguez.
Let's see it.
1v1. Left foot lines it up, takes a deflection. Corner kick coming.
Great recovery by Roberts.
And the 11 will play New York Red Bulls 2 in their next home match a week from Wednesday, September the 4th. We'll have that for you on My Indy TV and ESPN Plus. Coverage beginning at 7. And next up for Indy at Louisville Friday night. You can see that game on Wish TV at 7 o'clock. Louisville has won 4 straight. And if this result holds, they would be 4 points back of Indy. And a 1-0 victory did Louisville yesterday against North Carolina FC. Wabet looking maybe for a second goal of the night. And King commits the foul. Well, Indy has gotten good efforts from their 2 opponents. 2 teams that are just outside the playoff picture right now in St. Louis and Charlotte. Another Indy 11 foul. But next up, it's your 2-time defending Cup champs and the first place team. And a team that beat you earlier this year in Red Bulls 2 back in late April. And again, when that match takes place on Friday, it is the start of 5 matches in 15 days for the Indy 11.
And that's what makes you take a look at some of these roster moves, guys that they're picking up late, different guys starting, giving guys rest, the team rounding into health right now. All of that stuff is so critical for this stretch of the season.
The flick for Pasher, trying to get that left boot, sprints forward, and that will be a corner coming.
And it's almost a carbon copy of what you saw against St. Louis, where Pasher is out on the right side and wants to cut it back. Roberts would not let him. Whether he watched that video from last week or not, he sat on the left foot, made sure that he kept going out to the right.
As it stands now, a 20th consecutive home match without a loss. 3 minutes of added time, by the way, tacked onto this one. Pash with the left foot. Neither Ouellette nor Rodriguez could get to it in time to steer in a different direction. In that span of 20 matches, 13 of those have been victories. That streak right now bookended by matches against Charlotte. King gives the foul. Looking back post, Sabella. Jackson looking to make the turn. Good looking ball here, but Farias heads it to Gibson and Pasher. Pasher eventually will track it down. By the way, Charlotte will be in action on Friday as well when they play host to the Charleston Battery at 7 o'clock for their next game. Again, they have just 8 games remaining. And so that crunch for that 10th and final playoff spot, that is not in the distant future. That's right now for the Independents.
Yeah, that crunch got a little bit tougher based on tonight.
Especially knowing you scored first.
Yeah, and if they could have pulled a point out of this, I think that would have been a really good feeling rolling into this last stretch, that they still have a heartbeat. They're not out of it, but they're at the end. They can't afford to lose another point.
Charlotte finished just outside of the playoff picture a year ago as well. Final minute of this one. Indy looking at their 14th victory of the season, with 12 matches left to play. Herrera. Alex Martinez. Hackshaw didn't let it get through, but a foul is given outside of the 18. Looks like on Pasher. And Martinez offering a lecture to a 9-goal scorer this year. And with the time being taken to set this up, there may be one final look on goal for Charlotte, but not enough time to affect the overall outcome of this one. You would think this would be Herrera's ball to go for goal. It will be. Off the wall. And this one's over. No need for further action. The Indy 11 scored the last 3. 2 of them belonging to Drew Connor. 20 consecutive matches at home without a loss. The second longest streak in franchise history. And back into the top 4 in the Eastern Conference table for the Indy 11.
And with a handful of games in your back pocket, I think there's nobody above them that they don't have at least 2 games on.
Next up for the Indy 11, Friday night in Louisville against the 2-time defending USL Cup champions, Lou City FC. But first, more post-game festivities. So 3-1 our final score. Ioze taking a well-deserved seat at the conclusion of this one. We will have our Central Indiana Honda Dealers post-game show coming up for you in a matter of moments. We also will have our West Fork Whiskey shot of the game.
You look at the vibe that this team is giving off right now. Body language didn't change when the goal got scored. Game plan didn't change once the goal got scored. And they just kept grinding, fighting back. And it's a team that's playing with such confidence right now. It's almost like they know it's just gonna happen. It'll happen. Whether it's in the 80th minute, the 60th minute, it's gonna happen.
Time now for our West Fork Whiskey shot of the game. West Fork Whiskey, Indiana's premier whiskey distillery. Patty Barrett. You dial up the bicycle, you put it on frame, you help set up the go-ahead goal, you get the West Fork Whiskey shot of the game.
That is just amazing.
Connor's first. He tack on another on the goal clearance. Went awry from Brandon Miller. So a pair of 3 goal performances in a season sweep of the Charlotte Independents for the Indy 11. Now 2 goals on the year for Connor in just 2 matches with the Indy 11. And the red out successful for the Indy 11 tonight. Stay tuned in our Central Indiana Honda Dealers post-game show. We will hear from Drew Connor, Carl Ouimet, and the head coach of the Indy 11 in Martin Renning. Next time the Indy 11 will be at home, it'll be against the top club in the Eastern Conference, New York Red Bulls 2. That is on Wednesday night, September the 4th.
Well, they put in a handful of goals the other night.
5-1 winners over the Swope Park Rangers. Again, your final score here at Lucas Oil Stadium, Indy 11-3, Charlotte Independence 1. Back to wrap up our game broadcast after this. Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, proud to be the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. And by Community Health, exceptional care simply delivered. Community Health Network. Back for the final time for our game broadcast, but don't worry. There is the Central Indiana Honda Dealers post-game show. We'll talk with head coach Martin Renning and the goal scorers for tonight's contest, Carl Ouimet, as well as Drew Connor. For now, Brad, your final thoughts on this one.
Love it. I mean, this team is just in a phase right now where you're thinking anything's going to happen, but it's always going to wind up on the good side of things.
The Indy 11 pick up their 14th victory of the season, and again, they are now in 4th place in the Eastern Conference. 3-1. Final score at Lucas Oil Stadium this evening. Stay tuned. Post-match coverage continues next as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer on MyIndy TV and ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.